When an avoidant has their fears triggered and they feel the urge to run from a relationship, they tend to have very common justification strategies in their brain, very common thought patterns that internally justify their desire to exit the relationship without having to confront that inner wound of shame. And it's actually very common for both dismissive and fearful avoidants when they are deactivating. Things that'll cause deactivation can vary, but they're usually things along the lines of emotional closeness. That intimacy building causes them to feel unsafe. Maybe there have been disagreements or expectations in the relationship. Normal relationship behaviors, things like commitment, can be very triggering to them and really trigger their attachment wounds. So let's get into what those top 3 common strategies are. The first coping mechanism, the justification strategy, is I can't meet this person's needs. I can't give you what you need. You might have heard this one from them when they actually abruptly discarded you. They genuinely believe it. They start looking at you and the things that you want in the relationship, your needs, your expectations, and it starts to feel insurmountable to them. And they'll tell themselves, well, I just can't live up to this. There's no way I can make this person happy. They deserve someone that can make them happy, and that's just not me. I'm a disappointment. They'll figure that out. They'll figure out that I can't meet their needs, and they're going to reject me anyway, so I might as well just push them away now for their own sake. See, I'm doing them a favor. And that way, they can justify it, and they're actually being the good guy, not the bad guy. See, they're doing you a favor. But what it really is that wound of shame, that defectiveness wound. I'm not enough. I'm not lovable enough. I'm not good enough. And that stems from that consistent childhood emotional neglect that they experienced as a kid. They personalized it, growing up to feel defective and unlovable. And they genuinely believe that they can't be good enough to give you what you need, even if what you need is really just the bare minimum. Let's get into the second one. The second one is fault finding. This is where the ick factor tends to come in. They start looking for anything they can find wrong in their partner. It could be a physical attribute. Oh, I just don't like their jawline. Or why don't they have more tattoos? Or, oh, why do they wear their hair like that? Or, oh, I don't like that mole on their back. And hyperfixating on it just to feel that they can be justified to exit. There's got to be somebody better looking out there, someone more attractive. It could be a personality quality. Oh, I really wish that they like scuba diving more, and I'm a big diver, and they like snorkeling, not diving, and that's not. Maybe I can find someone with all these good qualities that's also a diver. Or it could be, oh, they're just so needy, or they're just not punctual enough. Finding little things that are really insignificant, things that can be easily overcame in a relationship by hyperfixating on those, because now they found a problem with you, their partner, which means that they don't have to self-reflect and they don't have to face that wound of shame, because now it's their partner's fault that they feel the urge to run away. And it really begins that mindset of we're just not compatible. But the things that make them not compatible with their partner are very petty, small things, just like we discussed. But it's their internal justification. It doesn't mean that it's rational at all. It's based on their attachment wounds and their fears. Let's get into the third one. The third one is the phantom ex. They start ruminating on an ex from the past, maybe even reaching out to that ex. It could be from years or even decades prior, because now when they're communicating with that ex, they are creating a connection there, which creates emotional distance between themselves and their actual current partner. And they will compare their current partner in a negative light to the ex. The ex gets put up on a pedestal, and they will fantasize about that ex, and they will idealize that ex. This ex is amazing. This ex is the one that got away. Why can't my partner just be as amazing as that ex? Well, it's really hard to have emotional intimacy with someone when you're constantly comparing them in a negative light to an ex. Now, there are cases where they don't ruminate on an ex. It might be someone else in their lives. It could be a coworker, a random person on the internet. It could be a friend that's giving them flirtatious attention and validation. But there's another person that they're putting on the pedestal that they are comparing their current partner to in a negative light. It just happens to usually be an ex. But it's a way to create emotional distance and ultimately justify the upcoming discard. Because now they have all the excuses lined up. They're not going to be able to satisfy their partner's needs. That's a lost cause. They find all these different faults that give them the ick, that we're not compatible. And now they've been able to compare their partner to somebody else in a negative light and say, see, there is better out there. And that's it. They've got their excuses lined up. They've got their ducks in a row. Now they don't have to self-reflect. They don't have to take accountability because it's not their fault. And now they exit stage left and leave their partner with a broken heart.